Hello, students. Today we are going to learn about our first flight chapter, A Letter to God. In the starting of the lesson, it is given that we should have faith in everything, but not that we can move mountains. So, till what extent we should put our faith? Let us have an introduction with the lesson that Lencho is a farmer who writes a letter to God when his crops are ruined and he is asking for 100 pesos from God. Now the question arises, does the letter reaches God and does God send him the money? And the story continues. In our textbook, some activities mentioned here about the cheapest ways to send money to someone through post office. The various procedures required to fill the money order form and to fill the appropriate details like name, postal address, PIN, acknowledgement, etc. With turning towards the lesson, let us start with it. In the entire valley, the only house on the crest of a low hill, the river, and on the other side, the field of the ripe corn with a good harvest. Now it was the time of a good rain. Now Lencho was eagerly waiting for the rains from the northeast direction and said to his wife, "Now we are going to get some rain." She was preparing supper and replied, "Yes." The older boys were working in the field and the smaller ones were playing near the house until the woman called to all come for dinner. During the meal time, the Lencho had predicted about the big drops and of rain began to fall. Huge mountains were seen approaching from the northeast. The air was fresh and sweet. Lencho was very happy as new coins and big drops seemed as 10-cent pieces and little ones are fives. He was satisfied with that amount of rain which looked like a curtain over his field. But then, by the time a strong wind began to blow along with the rain, very large hailstones began to fall. These hailstones truly resemble as new silver coins. The boys ran out to collect the frozen petals by looking at this, Lencho exclaimed, "It is getting bad now," and pass it on quickly. But alas, it continued for an hour, and the whole valley, garden, hillside, cornfield was white as if covered with salt. Due to this, the corn was totally destroyed. All flowers and plants got ruined, and Lencho's heart was filled with sadness. When the storm has passed after some time, Lencho said to his sons by standing in the middle of his field, "A plague of locusts here they mention, insects which fly in big groups, which destroy crops. These may have not left more. These may have left more than this, but this hail has left nothing. This year we shall have no corn. All our work went in vain and beared no fruits. There's no one who will help us, and we all will go hungry this year." There was single help and hope from God. He said to himself, "No one dies of hunger." All through the night, Lencho, in his deep conscience, was thinking about this hope from God. He was a man working like an animal ox in the fields, but also he knew how to write. The following Sunday, at daybreak, he began to write the letter and himself carry to town and mail it. It was nothing but a letter to God. In the letter, he wrote, "If you don't help me and my family, me and my family will go hungry this year. I need 100 pesos." Now, pesos are here a currency of several Latin American countries. To sow my field again till next year. On the envelope, he wrote, to God, placed a stamp, and dropped in the mailbox. Here, the story takes a new turn. One of the employees, who was a postmaster and helped at the post office, went to his boss, laughing heartily, and showed him the letter to God. As a postman, he had never seen such address. Here a small description of the postman is given, that he is a very fat and friendly person. Here in the textbook the word is amiable. Amiable means friendly person. He tapped the letter on the desk by saying what a faith also exclaimed that I wish I would have such faith and shall have a correspondence to God. By looking to Lencho's faith in God, that he should not be harmed or disappointed. So the postman himself decided, along with his employees, that to help out that poor farmer in the act of charity. He himself shared a part of his own salary. It was impossible for him to gather 100 pesos, so he sent only a little more than half. He put the money in an envelope addressed to Lencho, and with it a letter containing only a single word as a signature, God. Lencho was having a faith that he might be answered by God. So the following Sunday, Lencho came to the post office to ask for the letter. It was the postman himself who handed the letter to him, while the postmaster, experiencing the contentment of a man who has performed a good deed, looked on from his office. Lencho was not at all surprised on seeing the money. Such was his confidence, but became angry when he counted money and thought to himself that God had made no mistake nor he denied. After that, immediately Lencho went to the post to the window to ask for paper and ink. Again he started writing with much wrinkling of his brow, tried every effort to express his ideas. When he finished, went to window, buy a stamp, licked, and then affixed to the envelope with a blow of his fist. As soon as the letter fell into the postmaster's hand from the mailbox, he opened it. It was very simply written: God, the money asked by me was 100, but 70 pesos reached me. Send me the rest as I may need it of very much. But now don't send it through the mail because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks. Lencho. Now here the expressions written by Lencho are that he is very much agreed by the God's decision, but he says that the other 30 pesos are being taken or are being corrupted by the postal employees. So he is calling them a bunch of crooks. And with this confidence of writing a letter to God of Lenchos, our lessons end over here. Now we are having some oral questions and meanings throughout the lesson, which are very simple. And by reading to okay, our lesson ends over here. And goodbye, students. You can revise the lesson. If you have any difficulties, you can comment me, and I'm there to solve your difficulties. Bye. Take care.